Okay, before I say anything else, I just want to note that this game is free on GOG right now. There's no reason not to play this game. As a matter of fact, pause this video, click the link in the description, and download it now. By the time you're done watching this video, it should be done installing, and you'll have a better understanding of why this game is worth playing. Seriously, go download it. I'll wait. Did you get it? Alright, let's get started. Tyrian is a game you should be playing. Why, you ask? Well, let's take a look. Tyrian is an old-school vertical shooter from 1995 with explosive gunplay, an amazing soundtrack, and for some odd reason, a massive, intriguing, and comical story. Now, I was very, very young when I first played this game, and for over a decade it was nothing more than a faded memory in the back of my mind. Hell, I wasn't even sure if it was a real game after a while, or if it was just some dream or elaborate hallucination. I was a weird kid, I wouldn't put it past me. I'd completely forgotten about this game until Ross Scott from Accursed Farms did a video on it. By the way, Ross is amazing and you should watch his videos. I'll leave a link to his channel below. So, as with all videos in this series, this is less of a review and more of a first impressions video, where I tell you guys if I think a game is worth your time. And holy shit, do I think this game is worth your time. So, if you don't know much about vertical shooters, here's a quick rundown. The basic premise is that you're a spaceship and you have to destroy everything that moves, while avoiding various hazards along the way. Tyrian is no different in this regard. So what separates Tyrian from other vertical shooters? Well, several things. First of all, you have a reasonable amount of health, as well as a shield. Now, I don't know how many of you have played games within this genre, but that's huge. Vertical shooters are notoriously punishing. Note that I said punishing and not just difficult. If something is difficult, it can still be a fun challenge. No, a lot of vertical shooters, in my opinion, are designed to punish you. There's no room for error, and you'll have to memorize the path of each stray bullet in order to stand a chance. I don't find this fun. Tyrian is one of the few vertical shooters I've played that I can actually finish, and I like games I can finish. Make no mistake though, this game may not be punishing, but it's an adrenaline rush. The amount of bullets and lasers flying everywhere, the endless streams of enemy ships that relentlessly attack, and the sheer fun of blowing everything up on the screen is more than enough to keep you entertained, without an insane difficulty level. The gameplay of Tyrian is much more involved than it initially seems. Your ship is highly customizable, and you have to pay attention to how much power your generator has in order for your ship's weapons and shields to function properly. Oh, and just a note, your shields only recharge when you're not firing your weapon. This took me way too long to figure out. I like this though. It forces you not to just keep spamming the shoot button, which is usually all I do in games like these. Speaking of shooting, you get to upgrade your ship with enough guns to arm a small country. You get front-facing guns, rear-facing guns, guns that fire from your sides, a separate gun for each side, guns that behave differently depending on how much power your generator has, guns that behave differently depending on whether or not you click or hold down the shoot button, the list goes on. You can also upgrade each individual gun, making them even more powerful. You collect money for upgrades by destroying ships and collecting the coins they drop. As a matter of fact, pretty much everything you need in the game can be acquired by shooting things. This creates a positive feedback loop that makes everything feel much more satisfying. But let's say you don't have time for upgrades or generators or the man telling you how to play the game. Well, there's also an arcade mode that lets you pick up random upgrades throughout the levels, your shield regenerates no matter what, and you don't have to deal with your generator anymore. Like the name suggests, this mode provides a much more arcadey feel, and it's good for when you need to blow off some steam and relax. The controls of Tyrian feel good. Your ship feels like it has some weight and resistance behind it, especially if you're controlling with the mouse, and it makes you feel like you're actually piloting a ship through the air. Now, I'm pretty bad at describing controls, but the word that kept coming to mind was satisfying. Satisfying is a word I keep coming back to when describing this game. It's a game that knows what it's good at, blowing shit up and making you feel good about it. The graphics of Tyrian are alright, especially for an older game. I'm always more concerned about a game's art direction as opposed to graphics alone. The good graphics of today will be the dated graphics of tomorrow, and oftentimes the games that hold up the best are those that aren't going for realism but have a consistent, well-made art style. Tyrian is one of those games. I wouldn't say it's anything to write home about, but the game still looks alright, even today. Now, let's get to the music of Tyrian. My god, the music. Everything here ranges from alright to incredible. This game was made in the 90s, but the music has a strong 80s sci-fi feel to it. I love some good 80s music, and this game delivers. Seriously, listen to this. I may even start using some of the music for my channel. It's that good. So let's get to the game's story. Yeah, that's right. This game has an actual story to it. A rather huge one at that. The way you learn more about the story is by collecting data, which sometimes drops off of enemy ships. This data can be anything from emails from your friends to information about the area you're in to spam emails trying to get you to buy something. It's pretty awesome. Like I said, I was a very little kid when I first played this game. Hell, I'm pretty sure I had just learned to read when I started playing, so I had no idea this data even existed. This entire story is just as new to me as it will be for you guys. From what I've seen so far, the story is pretty obtuse and pretty massive, but if you're willing to take the time to sit back and do some reading, you'll be blown away by the amount of detail someone put into this game. Everything has context, everything has a purpose. These floating mountains are there for a reason. These spikes are there for a reason. Every planet has a strange, quirky history to it. I haven't even gotten close to collecting all the data, but I challenge any bookworm out there to do so. Let us know what you think about the story as a whole. Literally, the only thing I can say against this game is that it may be a bit too easy for those experienced in the genre, even on hard mode. Like I said before, vertical shooters are renowned for their absurd difficulty. So if you're a masochist and are expecting to descend into the fiery pits of bullet hell, this game might not be for you. It is worth noting, however, that there are cheat codes that unlock 3 extra difficulties, one of which is aptly named Suicide. Have fun with that. I'm not touching it. Oh, and one more thing. When your health gets low, this annoying siren goes off, and it doesn't stop until you get your health back. Games like Pokemon and Zelda do this too, and I can't stand it. I already know I'm about to die, and these noises just blare in my ear and make me anxious. But those are minor complaints compared to all the fun I've been having with this game. If you're not suicidal and don't mind muting the volume when you're about to die, this is as close to a perfect arcade game as you can get. So that's Tyrian, an awesome game about blowing stuff up. What's not to love? Like I said, this game is free on GOG, and I'll leave a link to it in the description. At the very least, give this game a try. It's fascinating to me because it didn't need to be this good. You can tell the developers really felt passionate about this game, and they put so much work into the gameplay, the mythos, and the music. I hate to see a game like this fall into obscurity, especially when there's so much potential for a sequel or remake. If you're at all into arcadey vertical shooters, or just want to see what one is like, I highly recommend this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.